Hey guys, I guess we're live. Welcome back to Whip Finish Wednesday. I'm Katie and John's sitting over there in front of the Vise tonight. And we're going to have a fun night tonight, tying up some soft hackle flies. But first, before we get started, I want to announce the winner from last week's contest for the October caddis. So let's do a drawing and see who won the cool fly box that we're going to send you.
Hey, Jeff Rowley. Boom, 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 boom.
This week's winner is Catherine Valencius, maybe? Catherine Valencius, Cathryn. Congratulations, Catherine. You're the winner this week of the fly box, filled with a bunch of flies that we tied. And it's a really cool Umpqua bug locker box. And as you can see on the inside, you're going to get a collection of really cool hand-tied flies by us. So congratulations, Catherine Valencius. Sorry if I'm not getting your name right. But send us a message. Let us know what your address is, and we will be happy to send you this awesome fly box. So let's get started tonight on tying some soft hackles, and we'll be back in just a bit to tell you what the contest is for next week.
All right. Thanks, Katie. And welcome to Randy, Freddie, and Jimmy. It's good to see you on there. And Jeff, it's always fun seeing you as well. So tonight we're going to tie a few different flies, or really one fly a few different times. What's up, Mike? This is another one of the first flies that we caught fish on that we tied. And I was in Orvis, going through their fly tying stuff and talking to the guys there. And a guy named Jake told me that I needed to tie a red butt. I can't remember if it was a red butt or red ass, and I thought he was joking. I didn't have any idea what was going on. What's up, Joel? Right back at you. So I did a little research, and he said it's basically just Peacock with some Partridge and a red tag on it. So I did some research, and most of the time people tie it with a thread tag, just tie down the hook shank a little bit more and tie the Peacock on, and then the Partridge. And we tested it back and forth and used a tag with thread, use a tag with floss, use both. And for mere simplicity and for what I think works the best, having the tag being floss worked really well. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And we're going to tie a couple different variations and show you a few techniques as well. What's up, Kay? And Rolly, I can't see your emojis, but I'm sure they're funny. You need to get like a big beard man, big motorcycle beard man emoji. So the hook we're going to be using tonight is a Tiemco 3769. Now this is just a standard dry fly or standard wet fly hook. It's not a long shank, just a standard length shank. Sometimes it could even feel a little bit short. We're going to tie a size 14. The neat thing about this is this pattern does not require very many materials. We're going to use Peacock, just regular strung Peacock herl, thread, and some Partridge. And I've got a natural Partridge skin that we'll use on the first one or two. And then we're going to do a caddis variation. We're going to do like a chartreuse head and chartreuse tag with chartreuse wire. And for that one, I like using a darker, a dyed pheasant, a dyed peak. I'll get it right in a second. A dyed Partridge. And Jack Fields with it's LV2 nymph, I think .com. But he's on Instagram. He sells these through Fly, and they're only $25. So this is the packaging. It comes in the Fly Reaper, $25 for a custom dyed Partridge skin. Pretty good deal. So that's what else we use. So pretty simple fly. I will, depending on what I'm going to use it for, I'll tie it with a little bit of weight. Sometimes I won't tie it with weight. But typically, if I could just tie it in one variation, I'm going to put about 6 or 7 turns of 0.15 wire on there just to help it get it down. Because if you can even Euro nymph this with weight is your top fly, your dropper fly. And this will help it get it down. But when the fish really like it is when you're done with you're done with your drift and it swings up, and when it's just rocketing up to the surface, it's amazing how many bites you'll get. So with that said, we'll switch over here and get to tying. And here's one that we're going to here's one I just now tied up. That's what we're going to start off with. Actually, this one's got weight on it. The first one we do is not going to have weight on it. And since we're what's up, Truman? Since we're tying soft hackles, and since Katie gave me a haircut this week, I decided to wear my hair down, kind of like a soft hackle, kind of shaggy. So everyone say hello, Truman. And guys, if you're just watching,
Hi, Truman.
If you're just watching, yeah.
Did you turn your mic on?
Did I turn my mic on? I did. I hope so. Anyway. Okay, so we've got 14 right here in the vise. We're going to start. We're going to make this really simple. We'll start with a little 12. So you can get it going the right way. 12-aught red, classic wax thread. Nothing fancy there. And guys, if you're just watching and not jumping in and saying hello, please jump on and say hello. Okay, so when I start my thread here, if you'll notice, I'm going to start about an eye length behind the eye. And I talk about this every time, every show. Like where we start the thread is really important, because depending on what pattern we're going to tie, that will that'll give us a stopping point of pretty much how far up we want to go. So I don't want to go any further up to there, past the thread, until I go to tie my my soft hackle in. That way the proportions are all just fine. So with the floss, I'm just going to get some red floss out. I'm going to pull out a kind of long piece. It's about, well, it's exactly 9 inches, roughly. So I've got my floss here, and I'm going to double it up. I'll line up both these ends. Okay, do you want to switch to the camera 3? So I'm going to line up both ends here. I'm going to cut it just like this. Now I'm going to wet it just a little bit. So I've got essentially one piece of floss now. And wetting it does a couple things. One, it keeps it all together. And two, when I put it down, it's not going to come apart, and I've just got this piece always ready to go. So now I'll measure it up, so it's going to go right to the hook end, the hook eye. Pull it to length. Now we're going to bring it up and around, keeping that material on top of the hook shank. We don't want it to wrap all around.
How's that audio now?
Got a little straggler there. Yeah, let us know if there's...
Yeah, they're saying the audio is a little flaky. That's why I asked if you had your mic turned on.
Well, I can double check real quick, but I know it's on.
That's okay. It's showing that it's on.
Maybe it's different. Let's see here. How about switch it to a different setting? So you guys tell me if that's even better or worse. It might be worse. Okay, so let's go to camera 2, please, ma'am. All right, so we've got our floss tied down on top of the hook shank, and we're going to leave it long for right now. So we'll just open spiral back up to the eye, and I'm going to grab 2. And I'm not really picky about it. I'm going to grab 2 of these peacock curls. So I can get 2 and not 10. And if you want to use 3 or 4, that's fine. I like using 2. And what I'm going to do is, I don't need much. So I'm going to cut off on these. I'm going to cut off about 2 inches or so from the of the tips. I'll just line it up like this, and we'll tie it in on top of the hook shank. Just hold it up. Make sure you get all the way to the back, and be kind of careful with this because it will break if you're not careful with it. So now I'm going to, hey, Michael, Jimmy, or Freddie, does it sound okay now? Now I'm going to take my, let's go to camera 3. I'm going to take my thread, I'm going to hold it out, and I'm going to do a loop. So as you can see right here, I've got a loop with my, if I can do it without breaking anything, I've got a loop made with the thread just coming out right where I tied in that peacock. I'm just going to bring my bobbin around my thread to close it off. And I'm going to come back up to the front. So I've got this loop here, and I've got the loop, and I've got the peacock. So now I'm going to use this this Smhaen bobbin twister, or dubbing twister. This guy right here. And this is one of the things. What's up, Graham? Good to see you hopping on here. This is one of the really huge benefits of this product. Unless I tied it way too short, we'll see. So now I've got them in. You can see that red thread, and I'm just going to twist. Now what I'm doing is I'm basically making a peacock chenille, and the that red thread is acting as my core for the chenille. It's holding everything together. Let's put a half hitch right behind the eye. I should have done it before I started twisting up my peacock. And you definitely want to make the peacock shorter than your sorry, you want to make your peacock longer than the loop, which is what I did not just do. So I'm just going to use a rotary function and just work this up. And if you start seeing that the start running out of that chenille, just twist it up some more, make it nice and tight. And the neat thing is, what's up, Ben? I just came in having cleaned my first grouse. There you go. So probably the biggest thing I'm going to show you are some cool soft tackle techniques here in just a few minutes. All right, so we've got our we got our peacock tied in, got nice and clean there. Take our bobbin, catch that off with a couple 2 or 3 wraps. We're going to put 3 in there. Take that off. Now to wrap back over that just a couple times. Trim this off, throw that away. Now we're going to take our tag end and just butt it right up against the hook bend. And we've got that part done. So as you can see, we've got a nice little peacock body. You know, all we need to do is take a, I'm hoping the borax technique works. Yep. It should dry it out pretty good. So let's go back to this camera, honey. Okay, so we've got our partridge here, and Ben, this should apply to you as well. You probably already know this, but on just about all birds, but the birds that we typically use for fly tying, the neck, the part up here, the feathers are going to be much smaller up here, and they typically just get bigger as you go down the skin towards its tail. Of course, there's different types of feathers everywhere, and for partridge soft tackles, we're mainly looking at the shoulders and the neck area. You can get in down here on the back some, but like I said, mostly the shoulder feathers and the upper end of the neck are what we're after. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find one that is smaller. Doesn't be super small, but smaller. And the nice thing about this fly is if your hackle is a touch too long, if it goes past the hook bend, that's okay. It'll still work. I found one, but it's got a little matting on it. So let's find a different one. There's one right here. Another challenge you're going to have, especially for really good skins, is when you pull them out, pulling out 2 or 3 feathers at a time. All right. So we've got our partridge feather here. Just pluck from the skin. All we're going to do is we're going to take it by the tip. All this fluff we'll just pull off, strip off like that. You can get dry preservative from taxidermy supply companies that might work better. Truman would know. He'd probably know. So I'm just going to trim. I'm going to pull a little more of this off because I know I don't need much. For this particular pattern, 1 to 2 wraps is all you need. I like getting in here right by the stem, by the tip top of it, pull it down. So my first wrap really has a lot of these much shorter fibers on them. So I prepare the feather like this. So let's go to the camera 2. Show everyone tie this in. So as you can see, we've got our feather prepped here. Pretty simple. Not much there. But here's the trick. So I'm gonna pull this back, and now I've got my little bit here. You'll see a lot of people will trim this off to where they got a triangle. Sorry, we'll trim this off so they've got a triangle, and they'll tie that triangle in. That works fine. It's not as secure, but it will work. What I like to do is leave this long. I've got my thread, do one more wrap back. I've got my thread right at the back, right where I want to tie in my hackle. So you angle, I'm going to tie right at that junction point, just a loose tie, loose wrap, just a little bit, just a pinch. I'm going to work right down to the eye. And now I'm going to grab everything with my thumb and my pointer finger and pull back to expose that eye. You can see the eye right there. I probably did not wear the best color shirt tonight. So now I'm going to bring the thread up and over. I'm capturing that, locking that in, and then back down to behind the eye. So that's about 4 or 5, maybe 6 wraps. And if you wanted to, you could leave this in there. I like to go and just pull it up and snip this off.
Hi.
You gotta, there she is.
It's not Misha tonight.
No, Misha is.
We have our special guest, Claire, tonight, guys. Hi, guys. That's our second oldest, Claire.
Everyone say, hey, Claire. All right. And then hope the hey, Claire should be coming in just a second.
Hey, Claire.
All right. So while y'all are getting that together, so we got this tied in. It's with it being folded over. Jeff says hello, Claire. Jeff Broley. He's from Texas. And Fred's from up north, and Mike and Graham.
If you guys are looking for an awesome sweatshirt, you should check out these lid red sleeves. They're awesome.
They're awesome.
I have 2 of them.
Michael Ragsdale's in Florida, and he says hello. Yeehaw! That's right, Freddie. I can't remember if you're Pennsylvania or New Jersey. So he is New Jersey. Okay.
Everybody said hi, Claire. Hi, Claire.
Oh, Jimmy Roop said hello, too. All right. Thanks, everyone, for saying hey. So I've got the CNF Hackle pliers here. I really like these, especially for delicate flies or delicate soft hackles. I'm going to grab the tip of it, just like the stem of it. Then I'm going to make a C with my middle finger or my pointer finger, my thumb. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to pull the stem through my fingers. So as you can see, just with one pull, I made basically like a V. See that V right there? I made a V with a hackle. So that's going to make it all sweep back. So I'm going to put one wrap in, and because I pulled that one full wrap of hackle in. So put that right in front. And as you're wrapping, if you need to, just keep doing this. You don't want to trapture anything. Okay, so we've got our 2 wraps in there. I'm going to twist the hackle this way, grab the pieces that are left over, pull up. Now twist this way, grab the pieces still in stem, pull up. I can pull everything back, and we're good. There's one. I'm going to work my thread kind of forward because now I'm going to grab everything tight, pull once again with my 2 fingers, pull everything back. Get all that stuff out of the way. And I'm going to try to wrap over that hackle stem. So just drop this right in break. So I've wrapped over the hackle stem, so it's captured twice as well. I'll just kind of rock it back and forth until it pops off. Now let's do a couple more wraps. And now it's just a matter of forming your head as big or as small as you want. Make sure you scrape off the fat. Yes. That'll start to stink. You can dry it all you want to, but you got to get that fat off there. And Truman, there's an R in wash. You got to get it right. If you're going to say wash on here, you got to spell it correctly. All right, now we'll finish it. So this is just our basic red butt partridge and peacock. Nothing fancy. You see how somewhat sparse that is. It could probably have a little more hackle in there, maybe a little less. That's about the way I want it. This one is going to be great to drop off behind a dry fly. Use a dropper on a dry dropper because it's not going to pull down a whole bunch, but will sink down in the film. And the trout are going to take this out of the film, and they'll take it really anywhere. Is it crick?
Creek or crick?
I don't spell it with an I, so
I've heard both here.
Yeah, I've definitely heard both.
Definitely, I've heard both here for sure. For sure.
All right, so now let's do the same one, but with some lead. Actually, we'll do the same one with some lead.
My grandmother drank soda.
Sody pop. All right, so now we're going to do one with lead. So we're doing the same thing, but
but did your grandmother work at the plant?
Spraying, yeah, the plant.
Did she work at the plant?
The plant. Spraying. It is a spraying. Living down there by the spraying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We'll rock this off. Oh my gosh, actually didn't work. So normally spool is intact. Okay, got that. We'll shove this all together. Put our finger here to lock it. See if I can get it so you can see it. Now we'll pull this off. We're good. So we got a little bit of lead on there. Not much, but that lead does make a pretty big difference. Camper. I don't know how you say camper, honey.
Oh, we don't have a camper. That's too fancy.
Now, are you talking about like an RV camper? Or are you talking about those people that show up in your backyard wanting to sleep? All right, so I just started the eye. We're going to do the exact same thing we did before. We'll build a little bit of a taper. Doesn't have to be much, but a little bit of taper on this side. And I'll wait to build a taper on the front until I get my stuff tied in. So just like before, we've got our red floss, a doubled up red floss, an RV. Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying. So we'll do a little paint trap right here. Bring it down. Now, one thing, especially on this hook to watch is, we switch over to camera 2, please. So you can see right where the gouge, which is right before you get to the hook point, or the barb. So right where that thread is here, there is a ginormous difference on time this fly. If you start it halfway in the gouge at the point or past the barb. So when you're tying, look at where your threadings naturally, and just pay attention to that, because as you can see, I can see it a little bit better. As you can see, right where the point, the barb comes up, is where my thread is, and that's where I want to keep it every time. That'll keep my bodies the same every single time, and that's we got. In Arkansas, we go for Willers for sale. Huh? I don't know about that. I don't know her. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what for Willers is. You'll have to.
Oh, hey, Ken B. Hi, Ken B. Thanks for watching tonight. Hi in Oz.
We're looking forward to seeing how long it takes for this. Sorry, it took us a while to get it out to you, but yes, we're looking forward to seeing. Okay.
It got mailed.
It did.
That's for sure.
It done did. All right, so we got our peacock here. We're going to cut it off. I'm just going to set it right on top. Captured in. Hold on top of the hook shank. Now we've got that tied in. I'm gonna do a shorter loop than I did last time. Why did it so long that time? Bring it around twice. It's locked in. And don't worry about capturing all this stuff here. We'll make it up in a second. So we've got our half hitch here, bring it down. And if you don't have one of these dubbing twisters, just grab it and grab this and grab this, grab your thread, and you can just twist it up with your fingers like this. So just twist it on up. But that's one of the fancy things about this twister that I really like, is being able to do this feature. So I'm going to do it. And I broke it. We'll try it with just one. That's why I like having two, just in case one breaks. And if this one breaks, then we'll just undo it all. So we're doing it with one peacock hurl. See how well it does. Spin it around some more. It's going to take a little bit more because it's not quite as bushy.
Did anybody notice that on the thumbnail I spelled hurl wrong?
You fixed it.
I fixed it, but I spelled it wrong the first time. Sorry about that.
People are like, how do you spell hurl again?
Exactly.
All right, so we've got that done. That's one of the nice things. Bring it, so I'll have to come back and watch it. Okay, Ken, thanks for hopping on for just a minute or two. All right, well, we're going to do a few wraps here. Pull it tight. Bring that off. So that is literally just one peacock hurl. And another thing you can do that I didn't really mention is, if you want to bypass the thread, you can always put glue down, some super glue down, and just wrap the peacock over top of it, which is kind of what we'll do in a minute, but without the glue. I'm not a fan of using glue if I don't have to. So this is basically the same fly, only different. This one's got weight on it. My pleasure. Good tying and tight lines. Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
Hollow holler.
Holler.
Well, we got a lot of people live in a holler around here.
I mean, we say holler.
Yeah, it's holler. And we're going to holler at you. Shaking doesn't understand hurl as a word.
It doesn't? Maybe that was my problem.
Yeah, I think the first time I spelled it all, I was like, what the heck?
I mean, but hurl is definitely a word. It's like a thing for sure.
Yep. Okay, so we've got our new partridge feather done. You don't have to use tweezers. You can just grab it and pull it back. It's just sometimes a little bit of time savings by using Hackle pliers or something. Okay, so we've got our same thing we did before. I'm going to cord up my thread. We hillbillies have our own langers. Yep. Yeah, we do. And we're going to cross it right where that doodad is. Pull it up just a touch. Now, the biggest reason I like to pull it up like that is not, it's just so when I make that first wrap, I start wrapping, my first hackle fibers are coming out the way I want. Now I'm going to grab, this is probably the big trick of the night, one of the big tricks of the night. Just tie in, leave the tip sticking out the front, wrap your thread towards the eye, grab everything, pull it back, and now capture it in and wrap back down to the eye. So that's 6 wraps total, and this feather is much less likely to go somewhere than just tying the triangle in. But hey, if you like the triangle, yellow. I see. I'm more of a yellow, like a yellow bellied or a yellow creamsicle. I don't know, yellow or something. Bring it up. I know. That's why I was like, what the heck am I doing saying yellow creamsicle? Everyone knows creamsicle's orange. All right, we'll put a touch more on this one just because I don't want to take those off. So if you want to, we can pull this off here. Got 2 wraps, pull everything back, wrapping up over that, holding my thread tight. So you can see if I can rotate this way. You can see I'm holding my thread tight. I'm getting a hold of the stem. My thread held really tight. I'm not going to try to pull it off in one pull. I'm just going to it's kind of like wire. And it'll just pop right off. See that, Jer?
Do you, Mike Phillips says, do you prefer Partridge and Hurl over Starling and Hurl?
Starling, I love some Starling. That's going to be good. If I want to tie this in size 18, now for some reason, and we're going to tie one that's dyed here in just a second, but for some reason, this natural colored Partridge, this one's a touch on the heavy side, but it has weight, so it'll give more movement. This natural Partridge is pretty hard to beat, but Starling's great for smaller flies, for sure. And I like the Whiting Farmers 4B and Brahma and all those. The biggest thing in my mind is, depending on what kind of soft hackle you're tying, is making sure you got the right size. Put a little glue on this thing. I think I forgot on the last one. Just bring that around. And I'll grab a piece of wire. So, I don't know if I answered your question. I love Starling. I've got 4 or 5 Starling skins. So we'll tie one more. And while I'm getting this one prepped, we will the giveaway for next week. Just use hashtag WhipFinishWednesday, and I'll probably wear my hair up. It's a little more of a pain keeping up with this when I'm trying to tie. The glasses help keep it on my face. But use hashtag WhipFinishWednesday on Instagram when you post your fly, and we will we'll check it out. That'll get you an entry. Comment on the YouTube show. Comment whatever you'd like to, but we would like to know if next week you would like to see a streamer, a nymph, or a dry fly. We've been tying up some nymphs and tying up some streamers and tying up some dry flies. We're talking to Hopper Juan, old Juan Ramirez, thinking about tying up one of his betases, Slim Shady. We've been talking with Landon Mayer. Got his book right behind me. We'll be tying up one of his mini leech jig.
That's right. And the winner of next week's drawing is going to get this super cool fly box called the LT Mini with a bunch of
flies
inside.
It's already got a bunch of flies in it. It's got the flies we tied tonight in as well.
And we have a new video coming out soon. It's going to be a product review, so stay tuned for that.
Yes. Yes, that makes sense regarding smaller flies with the Starling Hurl too. Yes, and Joel, I believe, asked, this is size 14 Tiemco 3769. It's just a wet fly hook. It's 2 times or 3 times heavy, standard shank hook. Seems a little like a short shank, but it's standard shank. Juan Ramirez ties his worship. Yep, got a fish with that guy once, and he's for Katie's uncle fished with him the other day.
That's true.
That is true. So, so comment anything you want to. We love seeing you guys comment on the YouTube channel, but comment nymph, streamer, or dry, and we'll get to you, or we'll get you in the drawing. Nan loves her Umpqua. Nan, everyone, hey Nan, we didn't see you hop on, or you said if you got home in time. So I'm glad you got home in time.
And she missed Claire.
Oh, you have to have Claire come down and say hey to Nan.
Well, Claire's 15. We went driving last night. It's a big week. Tegan got accepted to college.
Yep.
She's going to be a Buccaneer, so we're really excited.
Well, she got accepted to be a Buccaneer. She hasn't decided 100%.
She hasn't decided 100%.
You want her to be a Buccaneer.
I want her to be a Buccaneer.
All right. Well, while Katie goes and gets gets Claire, we'll tie this fly. So The red tag works great. You can put red tag. You can bypass the twisting and use glue. Use super glue. You can also run wire through it, and red wrought wire with that red tag looks cool. And Nan says, "Hey, Claire." She yelled it too, 2 exclamation points. I think Claire might have heard you, Nan. But when we were on the Watauga River a few years ago, and you know when you're fishing and you start getting a lot of those caddis cases, little like teeny tiny little triangles that are about an inch long or so. I was bored and I got one. I'm going to start peeling it apart, and dang, there's a super bright green chartreuse caddis larva in it.
Shuck.
And like the caddis was in it. I was like, or pupa, caddis pupa in it. And it was like bright green, super bright green. And I was like, well, heck, that's why we tie them in green, because they are green. So I started, after that, I started tying them with a green butt. And they worked really well. Green butt, green wire, but a darker color hackle. So that's what we're going to tie now is a green butt, red butt, partridge, and peacock. Say that 5 times real quick. All right. So we've got the, so flip this over. Bam. We've got the hook and the vise with, I'll put 6, 7 wraps of lead on there. I'm going to switch from the red to the fluorescent green. Now, the reason I'm using fluorescent green, holy moly, that looks not fluorescent green. But the reason I'm using fluorescent green is because here's my fluorescent chartreuse, and these two are basically the same color. So I'm going to use the fluorescent green, and we're going to do everything initially the same. Say initially, loosely. Start a thread, start building a little dam for that lead to sit on. Slide it forward just a pinch. Bring it all around. All right. So now we've got our thread on there. So we can dam this up just a little bit. And guys, I just want to say, oh my gosh, I didn't even go live on Instagram. I've had this keyed up this whole time. Go ahead and put that live. Ha! Oops. Hopefully I don't get too mad. Everyone that has been that subscribed to our channel and has been promoting and just giving us little shout outs here or there, we really appreciate it. We've been doing this for 2 months now on YouTube, and it's pretty darn cool. We're really enjoying the YouTube platform a lot better than Instagram, even though I just logged it on. Hello, everyone on Instagram. Sorry about that. We've been tying on YouTube for the past 30 minutes or so, and I figured we'd bring you all along. We're tying, we're to a green caddis. We're to a green soft hackle here. If that is not good in focus, which doesn't look like it, if you can, log in over on YouTube, and you'll be able to see quite a bit better. So what we've got here is about 7 wraps of 015 lead with tied on size 14 Tiemco 3769, and we're using fluorescent green. Dang, just I'm about to go to bed. Trout addict. Oh gosh. So now we're going to do the same thing we do with the red. We're going to take our floss. Trout addict, you ought to, if you can, hop over on YouTube so you can see us better, since you're not going to bed quite as soon as you thought. We're going to match up the tip ends of the floss, pinch it together, cut it. Now we'll lick our material to make it basically one piece there. So you can see you got one piece. We're going to tie it in just like we did the red ones.
The composer for JC's video.
Is that Nan talking?
Yeah.
Back in Ukraine, well, he gives JC the thumbs up. Oh,
Awesome.
Well, we'll tell John Christopher you said that. Whenever Equus Nan did a video, and the composer is Ukrainian. I was thinking, gosh, that must be a composer right now in Ukraine, but she just gave us an update on him. Okay, so we got our two peacock curls here. I'm going to cut off about 2 inches, and we're going to. I got to think now because we're going to do a little bit differently. Yeah, I'm going to tie it on my side of the hook, like this, and then we're going to tie in some wire. I should have pulled that a little shorter because we don't want to go past that thread. We want to leave a little bit of bare shank right here. So I'm going to use some. Now, the first ones we did, we used a little dubbing twister. This time we're not going to double up on anything. We're just going to wrap the partridge, and this is one of Davey McPhail's tricks. Not tricks, but when he's wrapping peacock, pheasant, whatever it is, he always says counter wrap. So wrap in the opposite direction of your thread, your weakest material. And I would always wrap my whatever, in this case, my peacock, I'd wrap it first and wrap it the same way, then I'd counter wrap my wire. So the wire is wrapped on your side of the hook. As you can see, I've got just a little bit, just a nice little taper here. Things. What's up, Mr. Kamisa? I can't believe you're not watching on YouTube. You're like the YouTube guru over there. All right, so we got our half hitch here. Bonjour, Glenn.
Bonjour.
Buongiorno. Hopefully we'll be back in Italy this spring or this summer. So we got our half hitch on there. So now I've got our wire and our peacock tied in. Now I want to take my 2 peacock curls and I'm going to wrap this the opposite direction of my thread. So I bring it around. The reason I tied on my side is so my first wrap, I wasn't going right into that, right into my tag. So now I'm just going to bring it up just like this. Easy day. And it might slide down a little bit right
Like
here.
so.
Katie absolutely loves it when I say like so.
I edited out all those like so's today on my video.
So everyone can say thanks, Katie, for we don't want to hear John say like so. Okay.
You're welcome.
Oh shucks, I didn't do that. So I'm gonna take my my thread, bring it up, cross it over and down. Do it 3 times. Cross, down, wrap, cross, down, wrap. I can cut that off. So you can see we got a really nice, pull this up here, really nice little body. And now I'm going to tie my, I'm going to put a little, just because I don't want it to come loose, I'm going to put a 2-turn whip finish here. Because if I bump my thread or anything right here, and we're going to do what I just did, my peacock will come out. But once I get this wire wrapped in, it's not going anywhere. So I'm just going to wrap this up like so, honey. Much better now. Glenn, I'm glad you like it. Glad you're better. Okay. Should come to Newfoundland Labrador for some big old brookies and browns. I would love to. I bet Katie would love to as well. Trout addict.
Yes,
Just said we ought to come to Newfoundland and Labrador for some big brookies and browns. Okay, so on Instagram you can see that quite a bit better. We've got our nice little wire running through that. So that's what's forterizing. Yeah. That's what's making it strong and making where something fall apart. Wrap in opposite directions. Wrap your weakest material in the opposite way of your thread. So counter wrap your weakest material. And I feel sorry for everyone on Instagram because you can't see worth of who, but come on over on YouTube. So what I said earlier, this when we first started, the Fly Reaper, if you'll go to Jack Field's site, Live to Nymph or Live to Nymph, it's lv2nymph.com. He sells these Fly Reaper, or you can look up Fly Reaper as well. And for $25, you can get these custom dyed partridges. The colors are really cool. They work nicely and they're not very expensive, which is like plus and plus. So I'm going to do this exact same way we've already done a few times. Grab one feather, pull it out. We'll take a look at this. Now this feather's not quite as big. So I'm just going to pull off this fluff. Ever try adding a touch of super glue or zap under the peacock curl? Yep, I have. And if I wasn't going to put this wire on there, I definitely would have. If I can at all get away with it, I try not to use glue. Just kind of I say that, and I've got 500 things of resin over here. I've got zap right here. I've got it all here. I'll use it if I have to, but if I don't have to, I won't. Good evening, Trout Deceiver. From down under. Top of the morning to you. Literally, it is the top of the morning to him. Okay, so now we've got I believe this is I think I've got the color of it. Actually asked the Fly Reaper to dye this. I wanted a dark brown one. I can't remember if this is brown or brown olive. I don't know, but I wanted it pretty dark. So we'll grab the tip, pull it back. Now we're going to tie it in, cross it over, pull, wrap one more wrap to the eye, pull everything back. And that's the key thing, guys. We've got 5 wraps total. Now I'll bring it right back behind the eye. So we've got 6 wraps now. If I need to, I'll pull this forward. This is really not a necessary step here, unless you had like a really long stem. But when you tie it in that way, you're much less likely for it to pull out. Big John. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing wrong with using glue. It's not like the trout are going to go over there and like smell your fly or anything. I'm not good with like it dries out on me, and I hate like keeping up with it. And I don't know, just personal preference. And if you can tie a solid fly without the glue, then why bother with it? So we're going to take my middle finger, my thumb, grab here, and the key is pull the hackle stem through your fingers. You can pull up a little bit, but pull like that. And as you can see, you got a nice little V in that hackle.
Lovely.
Lovely. There's someone who said they felt flies had glue on it or rejected more than flies without glue. Well, you know what I'd say to that person? You might be right.
You might be right.
So this one kind of got twisted just a bit.
I'm glad they feel that way.
We untwisted it, so we're good. Natural spruce grouse for soft tackle. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if I've ever used spruce grouse. Is that something you've got over where you're from? I don't know if we've got spruce grouses here in Tennessee. We got volunteer grouse.
Yeller grouse.
Yellers. Okay, so now I'm just working my thread back, trying to capture that. There we go. It's captured. I'm trying to build this head up just a little bit. That sounds kind of dumb, but I'm trying to wrap over the stem. That's why I'm going over it more than I have before, because I want to get it right there. And the reason I wrapped over the stem like that, that's a little too much. Get it right. When I looked at it in the picture, the video looked too much. Okay, so the reason I wrapped over the stem is that just gives it a little more protection. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, the green tag, the green wire, it's actually chartreuse wire and chartreuse tag, and the green thread really, they do add quite a bit. And when the caddises are out, they work. And when they're not out, they work too. Okay, so we've got our soft hackle there. Same type thing. This one has lead on it, so it's going to sink nice. Put a little, and those of y'all who want to see use glue, here's some Sally Hansen's right on those thread wraps. Just get started, and I just kind of drag it around. Nothing fancy. So for next week's little challenge, tie up one of these flies. It doesn't have to be anything exactly like we tied up. But Peacock and Peacock and Partridge, be creative. Use hashtag Wet Finish Wednesday. And next week we'll draw a winner for the fly box that Katie showed a little bit earlier with the flies we tied tonight, plus about another half a dozen flies that we tied prior to tonight. So I don't know, maybe 10 flies or so, plus that Umpqua LT mini fly box. So that is super cool. Also found the barred soft hackle. Yep, that's one thing with the partridge with that barring on it, little speckling. It looks nice. Also on the YouTube side, after we posted the video, if you'll comment whatever you want to. But what I'd like to hear is, do you want to see us tie a streamer, a dry fly, or a nymph next week? On the nymph side, we've been talking with Landon Mayer and Hopper Juan Ramirez. We've got a couple in store from those two guys. Dries, I tied another October caddis the other day. Thought I might do a different variation of October caddis. And as we talked about a month ago or so, Kelly Gallup gave us permission to tie one of his flies live on the show. So, streamer, nymph, dry. Let us know what you'd like to see, and we'll do it up for you, and that will get you into the drawing for next week to win the flies and the Umpqua fly box. So thank you so much to everyone who has followed us or subscribed to our channel. What's up, Marcus? So Marcus, after we posted the video, you can get on and post in the comment section of the show. After it's done, we'll get on there and see it. But thank you, Marcus. I like your enthusiasm very much. Guys, thanks for hopping on with this. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. It's been really fun, and we're having a blast doing it. I think you can see a lot better. You can hopefully hear a lot better. And we look forward to seeing everyone on Wednesday night. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Katie to say goodbye.
Thanks for watching, guys, and keep checking out our channel. We're going to be adding some stuff in the next few days. It's going to be pretty cool. And you guys just keep fishing and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
See you guys.